Ooh. Fair enough. Oh, fuck! Oh, shit! Oh, fuck! Hi there, I'm Astrid. Today, I'm going to be teaching you how to play
Epic Spell Wars of the Battle Wizard!
There are two different editions of Epic Spell Wars, with different cards. The one I'll be showing you today is
Druid Mount Skullsfire!
which means it comes with this little guy right here, the titular Mount Skullsfire. It's a card game by designer Corey Jones with art from Nick Edwards, known for his involvement with shows like Adventure Time and Uncle Grandpa. You and up to 5 of your mates assume the role of a wizard with the goal of killing everyone else. Each game of Epic Spell Wars will be made up of matches. In a match you'll have a number of rounds during which you'll cast your spells. A match ends when someone becomes the last wizard standing, and that person will take a last wizard standing token. Once you've reached a number of last wizard standing tokens that you've decided will be the win condition, the game is over. To kill your friends, you'll be casting spells that you craft with different spell components. There are 3 different types of component: source, quality, and delivery. Your spells can be made up of all 3 of these components, but only in this order and only one component type of each. You don't have to have all 3 cards though. You can have just a source, just a quality, just a delivery card. You can also have a source and a quality, or a source and a delivery, or just a quality and a delivery. So long as you have only one of each at most, and they're played in that order, you've made a spell properly. Each of the spell components will perform different actions. Some will do damage to specific players, some will heal you, and some will let you go first in a round, or let you play more spell components. A lot of these effects will also take the magical glyphs in your spell into account. Every spell component has its own magical glyph. There are a few different types. This one is Arcane. And sometimes spell components' actions will use how many of the same glyph is in a spell to affect it. For instance, we see with Mysterious, you deal 1 damage to the foe on your right for each different glyph in your spell and each treasure you have. So that's a little bit different. Rather than it taking account of the fact that your spell has a certain number of arcane glyphs in it, it's looking for what different glyphs are in the spell. So what glyphs aren't arcane. Now that we know how spells work, we've got the most complicated thing about Epic Spell Wars out of the way. The way the game plays out is really quite simple. Each of you will have a hero card that you're going to use to keep track of your health. Whichever you pick, it doesn't really have any effect on gameplay, it's just for a bit of fun. Let's pick Pista the Pissed Wizard as an example. You will take a skull token and put it on 20. This is how much health you'll have at the start of a match. When a round in a match of Epic Spell Wars begins, you'll draw a hand of 8 cards. Everyone will then decide on how many cards they want to be in their spell and what components they'll use. After you've decided your spells, you figure out which order you play in. First you look at the number of cards. You have 1 card, you'll go before someone who has 2 cards, and they'll go before someone who has 3. Then you look at your initiative number, which is the little flamey boy on the delivery cards. The highest number goes first, and if you don't have a delivery card, then your number is 0. If 2 or more of you have the same initiative number, then you each roll a die. Again, highest number goes first. Then you will cast your spells. I'll be playing an example with as much of the funky stuff in it as I can manage to give you an idea of how everything works. Oh, and the most important rule that you need to remember is that you need to say the name of your spell in your best wizard voice, otherwise it doesn't work. So now that I've made my spell, it's time to cast it. Before anything else, you'll notice the quality card is something called Wild Magic. When you play a Wild Magic card in place of a spell component, you have to draw from the top of the component deck until you get a card that fits the position that you've played it in. So we'll draw until we get a quality card. Let's have a look here. There we go, Mysterious. Had that before, haven't we? Now that we have a full spell, let's talk about the full effects of
Bleemax Brainiac's Mysterious Cone of Acid!
My source card is Bleemax Brainiacs, so I'll draw the first 2 cards from the component deck, and if any of their glyphs matches the glyphs in this spell, we'll add them to that spell. So, doesn't look like we're going to have anything there. Now, the card we drew as part of Wild Magic is called Mysterious. Now, I've already explained that to you, so you know how that works. My delivery card is Cone of Acid, so for the 2 players to the left and right of me, I'll roll the number of dice equal to my power rating. You work this out by adding up the total glyphs in your spell that are the same as this card's. Because there are 3 glyphs in the spell, I'll roll 3 dice, and look at this little chart here to figure out how much damage I do. Shit! So I've rolled a 13, which means I'll deal 4 damage and gain a treasure card. Treasure cards are modifiers that will give you an advantage when playing. Some will give you a bigger initiative, some will let you roll more dice when you make power rolls, little bonuses like that. Now if it all goes well, you'll kill all your mates, win the match, and grab a Last Wizard Standing token, but if your health hits 0, then you're dead. When this happens, you discard your hand and any treasure cards you have, and you draw a Dead Wizard card. Dead Wizard cards will give you a 1-up in the next match. You might gain a treasure, have your health boosted above the standard 20 hit points, or be able to draw more cards, stuff like that. So the one we have is Giant Space Kingdom in the Sky, which means when we start the next game, we will have an extra 2 hit points above that maximum capacity. And then you do it all over again until you hit a Last Wizard Standing token limit, or you get bored. That last bit, though, can get really tricky, because Epic Spell Wars is an absolute belter of a game that's great for a night in with some friends. Hello! Thanks for watching my video application. If you enjoyed it, I would love to know what you think, for starters. All of my relevant social media you can find in the description down there. If you like the shirt, I got it custom made, so you can't buy them online, sorry about that. But if you still want one, then you could send me your address and I could order it off of Spreadshirt for you. Bye!